What up, Winbush here. And today I want to show you guys how you can make your cloners inside of Unreal Engine 5.4 audio reactive to any MP3. So right now we're inside of Unreal Engine 5.4, looking inside the motion design tools, and this is what we're going to create. So as you can see right now, this is actually reacting to an MP3 track that I have down here inside the sequencer. But the cool thing about this is with the Effector selected, you can actually go through in real time and actually just go through and start messing with these and adjusting everything in real time. And if you want this project file so that you can all follow along, don't worry, I'll put up my spec file up on my Gumroad. You can download it absolutely free. So let's start this project from a blank slate so you can see the steps to get this activated. So within my blank viewport right here, I'm going to come over here to the left-hand side where we have motion design mode. And if you don't know how to set this up, make sure you go to my previous video where I show you how to get acclimated with everything in the motion design mode. But if you look over here under actors, we have cloner actor, and I'm going to select this twice, and that's going to bring our cloner into our viewport. Now you can see that we already have some cubes here by default, but we're going to use these prime bottles that I got off the internet here and put these inside our cloner instead. So I'm going to delete the default cube, hit yes, and then I'm going to select these three bottles right here. I'm going to bring them underneath my cloner, and now you can see that we have our cloner stacked with these three energy drinks. So what I'm going to do is select my cloner right here, and inside my details panel, I'm actually going to come down here under layout, under grid, and I'm just going to make this 1 by 1 by 1, just so we have one, just so we can see what's going on. Now with my count Z, let's move this up to maybe like 20. So that's going up and down, so that's not what we want. So I'm going to do 20 on my X, and I'm going to do 20 on my Y, something like that. And that should be suffice. Now you saw that it was really close to my camera. If I click on my cloner and come up here to the top, under location, if I click on these three dots right here, I'm going to go reset the default, and that should zero everything out inside of our viewport. Now if I hold down the right click, hit the W, we're going to zoom in here on our grid like so. And I think my grid's looking good here, but let's get this set up with an Effector. So if I scroll back over here up to the top under my details panel, under cloner, you should see spawn linked Effector. Now you can also add an Effector over here on the left-hand side, but I find it easiest just to do it here because it will automatically link it to our cloner that we have selected. So spawn linked Effector, there we go. So now inside of our outliner, you can see that we have our Effector, and it's already starting to do some work here. So if I zoom in here, you can see inside the viewport that this is starting to rise up here a little bit. And if I come down here under mode, if I look under offset, if I start scrolling this up, you can see this is where we're going to make it rise and go down. There we go. I went up a little bit too high there, but somewhere around there. So let's say 600. So you can see right here, it's going up and down, and we want to make this reactive to our audio. But before I do that, you can see right now, we can't really see our Effector. Like we see the axis, but we don't see the actual Effector. And so if you want to be able to see that a little bit better, right here under advanced, where it says visualize your thickness, if I scroll this all the way up, we should see it better. Now let me actually bring this down. And if you're still not seeing it, if you select it inside your viewport and hit G, so I'm gonna select something in my viewport, hit G, and now we should be able to see it here. So if I scroll through here, actually I'm moving my clone, but you can see we have our Effector here. So let me select my Effector again, come right here, and you can see that, let me actually zoom in here a little bit so you can see it better. So right now we're at 0.2 on thickness. You can't really see it, but if I scroll up all the way up to 10, now you can actually see it. So that's just an easier way for us to visualize our Effector there. And then of course you could drive it through your cloner like so. So let me actually come back over here. I'm going to zero out my cloner, so it's in the middle. Same thing with Effector, zero it out. Now let's get this acclimated with our audio. So if I come down here, let's start off with magnitude first. If you see right here under Effector with magnitude, let me actually scroll this so you can see what's happening. So if I bring it down, that means that our Effector is not going to affect anything at all. And if I bring it all the way up, you can see what happens. Now we're at full speed here. So if I right click on magnitude and then come down here under sound wave, it might be hard to see, but down here in the bottom right under properties, you should see magnitude. Now if I select this, now under items, you should see this little stack here. Now this is going to bring it into our operator stack. So if you select your operator stack right here, let me move this over a little bit. Now you can see under animators, we have our sound wave. Now it's not going to be reactive yet, and that's because right here where it says sampled sound wave, we have to put our sound wave into here. So you could do this two ways. You can actually select right here under none, and you can select your sound wave right through here. Or if you come over here to your content browser, and let's look for audio. So I have it right here. If I left click, select this, bring it right here, Now you can see it's inside of here, and you can actually see that it's starting to react with our cloner in there. But that's because down here under time source, we have it to world. So it's not going by our sequencer. In order to fix this, we want to come down here to where it says world, left click, and we're going to bring it to our sequencer. And that way, once we play it through our sequencer, that's when it's going to react. But one more thing, under sequencer name, you want to make sure you tell it what sequencer is hooked up to, in which on this one, I have it under avalanche sequence _0. So I'm going to select this. And now if I play through here, it should be reactive. So as you can see right now, I played it, it was reactive, but it's not doing anything too crazy, right? And that's because we can add a few more attributes onto here. So I'm going to bring this back to the beginning here. And then right here under magnitude, maybe let's raise this all the way back up to 1. Even though it's being driven by the audio, I'm going to start off at 1 just so we can see better what's happening here. So another thing that I'd like to do is let's come down here under outer radius. I'm going to right click down here. And instead of going back to sound wave and doing it this way, you can see right here, it says existing animators. And that's because inside of our operating stack, we already have our sound wave _0. So if I come down here and let's go down to outer radius and select this. Now, if I come over here under linked properties, now you can see I added our outer radius. So if I select this down, now you can see all the attributes that come in with our outer radius. And then also for our magnitude, you can see all the attributes here as well. Now for magnitude, I'm going to leave this alone. But for outer radius, let's play around with this a little bit. So if I move this up, and we can actually hit play on here, so we see what's happening at the same exact time. So this is why I like having it in real time, because you can actually see everything that's going on as you're messing with it. So we're starting to get a little bit of bounce there. And the reason that it's doing it that way is because if I look over here on easing, it's only under linear. So if I left click on this and let's do maybe an elastic, now you can see that we're starting to get a little bit better here, some better results. So it's just about going through and just playing with this until you find something that you like. Let's come through and maybe do bounce in, bounce out, something like that. So you can already see how cool this is, just playing around with it inside the attributes while it's playing here in real time. So I'm going to pause this because another trick too is maybe with your axes right here, you want to have this moving up and down like this as well. So let me actually hit Control Z. I'm going to go back here, and then over here under link properties, I'm in my operator stack, animators, under my sound wave. If I select this and then I come down here to the plus symbol, hit this, and now we could do it by location. So I'm actually going to hit this right here, and then I'm going to scroll this back down because now we can see that we have location going by Y and going by Z. And now with these selected in here, I'm going to turn off Y, and I'm just going to go by Z location for right now. And then let's maybe move this all the way up. Let's actually play this while we're messing with it. So for min, I'm just going to put it down there a little bit. And then for maximum, let's raise it up there a little bit. There we go. So now we can see what's happening there inside our viewport. I selected my effector there, and you can see that it's actually bouncing up and down on the axis. So if I come down here, let's play around with it a little bit more. Put it down here on negative. So you can already see what's happening. Like we could just get really crazy with it and just have a lot of fun. But that's how you would go through and basically hook up your audio to your cloner there. So you can already see how powerful it's going to be being able to hook up your audio files over onto your cloner there. That was just the MP3 that you threw in there, but you can also use WAV files as well. And then as I said at the top, I'm going to also give you guys this project file. So make sure you go to my Gumroad, link down in the description, if you want to download this project and play around with it. So once again, make sure you watch my previous videos if you want to break down how to get started with motion design. If this is your first time seeing it, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content I'm going to be doing about motion design. And until next time, stay fresh, keep creating, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'll see you soon. Take care.